welcome back to The Topic, Thailand's weekly topical news update show. Now our first topic. Former Prime Minister Taksin Shinawatra is currently in the USA on an investment trip, or maybe just touching base with the Thai people over there. Let's throw it to our studio guest, Tom. Former Prime Minister Taksin in the US.
Great.
What's he up to?
Great. You know, he's visiting the people, he's traveling around the world, he's promoting Thailand. Truly showcases that everything that's been, said against him has been politically motivated. The U.S. has accepted him.
No, I don't really buy that. Adrian,
You're jumping to conclusions there.
I'm not jumping to conclusion. The U.S. will not give visas to anyone with a criminal court case against them. Truly showcases. If the USA is going to give this man a visa, he's clean.
Adrian,
well, it depends on what passport he's holding.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, Adrian. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't whitewash him from his crimes.
I'm not saying it whitewash. It just showcases very clearly that a country like the U.S., very difficult to get a visa, and you know this. If the U.S. government is going to give this man a visa to enter their country, what does that say? It says that every country in the world accepts him, except the only country that he's trying to do good for, which is Thailand.
Well, if the U.S. accepts him so much, and if Taksin wants to stay in the U.S. that much, perhaps he will stay there longer.
Well, I'm sure he's enjoying his stay there.
Well, let's hope it stays that way.
No, but Adrian, I have to be fair, Jay.
Okay, carry on, sir.
Taksin is traveling around the world.
Okay.
He's out there promoting for the benefit of the people of Thailand. He's in the U.S. this week. He's in New York. He's in Los Angeles. He's meeting with Thai people. He's meeting with foreign people. He's meeting with the U.S. people, telling them what a great country this is. I think people have just got to get over this.
Okay.
If other countries can't accept him, why can't we?
Okay, no, but I don't think it's not really a precedent being set here because
How can it not be a precedent?
Because former Prime Minister is in the USA, even though he has outstanding convictions here in Thailand. I mean, it's always been the case that whenever someone is thrown out of Thailand or not extradited,
Hold on.
They pop up somewhere.
How can it not set a president? The president is if you are a convicted criminal, the U.S. government will not provide you with a visa. How can this not be a president? This showcases the number one country in the world.
So does USA law override Thai law?
It's not about that.
It doesn't.
It just means that all the convictions against Taksin, the U.S., a very democratically elected country, sees it all being politically motivated and has allowed this gentleman to go back into the U.S., where 5 years ago he was, taken out by the people here. Yeah. Now they allow him to come back and promote our country. What's bad about that?
Well, the U.S. obviously has remained silent on this. They have not given any reason.
What's silent? There's a stamp on his visa.
Hang on. I would say this. It's better that he's in the U.S. than he is here.
Why would you say that, Adrian?
Less controversial.
Well, okay, look.
Less problems, less chaos.
To be fair.
Okay, so he's not coming back here for the meantime. He's in the USA, supposedly on an investment trip.
And
right?
it's
a private investment trip, perhaps.
And is that not a good thing?
Is it
and is that not a good thing that our former prime minister
is
out there promoting Thailand to people around the world, getting the right audiences to hear about our country?
It depends on your point of view. But he's in the U.S.
He's
on an investment trip. Is it a private investment trip?
Private,
or is he representing?
He does not represent the country.
I know for a fact that he'll be in Los Angeles. He'll be in New York. He's meeting with all the Thai people. He's meeting with a lot of business people there. Look, the guy is there to help promote Thailand. If that's part of interest, look, he's there.
Okay, we're going to have to wrap this one up now. I think we're out of time for the former Prime Minister Taksin topic.
Well, it's a hot topic.
We'll come back to it probably in the weeks to come. He's always in the news. He's never out of the news. Thai press, they can't get enough of him. I think a lot of people have had enough of him, but we just wish the whole situation would calm down a little bit, especially in here. Topic number two. The BMA, they're fighting over the BTS concession. You may have saw this one in the news in the last couple of weeks. The Bangkok Metropolitan Authority, they have extended the BTS, the Bangkok SkyTrain concession for another
17 years.
17 years. Now, what's the story behind that?
Well, I see it as a good thing. The BTS has changed the traffic patterns in Bangkok. Yeah. It's much more easier to actually get around. Everyone's property prices have gone up around BTS stations, and nothing problematic about this.
My friend, I don't disagree with you that the BTS is the greatest thing that's ever happened to traveling in Bangkok. I like paying my 10 baht and going up and down, right?
No, it's not 10 baht. Even
10 baht anymore? 20 baht, whatever it is.
Even though it was promised 20 baht,
the only problem with this deal is...
Tom, when was the last time you took the BTS?
Actually, I took it last week.
Jay, you paid 10 baht?
I paid something. Somebody paid for me. But listen, the problem with the deal is very simple. Right. The concession has not ended, and it won't end for another 15 years. The question is, why would the Bangkok Metropolitan Authority extend a concession for another 17 when the first 15 has not finished yet? Second problem is they didn't take this through the proper channels. Okay. The proper channel is to get the approval from the Ministry of Interior, whom in reality is the boss of the BMA. So I'm not saying the Democrats did anything wrong. I'm not saying the Democrats did anything right. It just smells fishy.
Who is the current BTS concessionaire? Okay, are they doing a good job?
Yes.
Look, I'm not saying it's a bad job.
Are they doing a good job?
Yes.
Look,
do you like the service? Do you like the service they
provide? And there's probably no one else who can replace them.
I don't think that the issue here that we should talk about is whether or not, you know, the service is good or the service is bad. The issue here is, why would the Bangkok Metropolitan Authority extend a concession that won't be over for 15 years today?
I have two reasons. One.
And why didn't they go through the proper channels?
One, when the BTS wanted to extend the line, the government did not approve the budget. It used BMA's budget. There was one. There was one. So BMA did good. They're doing it for the benefit of the people.
Is it for the benefit of the people or for the benefit of the BMA?
Number two. Public transportation is a long-term project.
I don't disagree with you.
It's a very long-term project. If you have vision and ability to see long-term, you can be more efficient in your operations.
I don't disagree with that. The only point is, if that was the case, there is a proper channel. Imagine if you approve something without your boss knowing. Would that be a proper way to do things?
It depends who your boss is.
Yeah, I'm not a legal expert.
You have a boss. Then you know something? Then you don't work for that company.
Yeah.
You have a boss. It's very clear. The BMA has a boss, which is the Ministry of Interior. The Ministry of Interior has to approve this.
Okay, so what's the likely outcome here? The Ministry of Interior...
It's going to get scrapped.
It's going to scrap.
It's going to get scrapped.
Okay, so the next government's going to come in again, or they're going to...
Well, you know,
they're waiting for the next governor of the BMA, who could be...
Someone else.
Someone could be you.
Okay.
Next topic.
Okay, next topic, number 3, south of Thailand. As you know, the south of Thailand's been hitting news. There's been continued violence, continued burnings, continued shootings. The Thai military are down there. Seems like they're having a very tough time of things. What exactly is going on down there?
This is a long-term problem. This is a long-term problem. It's been going on. It's been going through the hands of many governments, and no one seems to be able to solve this problem. But you know, from the way we see it, that horrible video of 4 soldiers being attacked by 16 bandits, I would call them. That is a pure indication of the unpreparedness of the military, I would say.
I mean, there's clearly a problem down there. Soldiers are getting shot at, they're getting bombed. Every few days there seems to be a new killing, execution style.
5,000 people
innocent people are being killed nearly on a daily basis. City centers are being bombed. So why can't the Thai military get a handle on this, Tom?
You know, and Adrian, on this one, I don't think we have any arguments in the fact that it's a very sad situation for all. But as in anything, you know, it's the act of the few that are, you know, destroying the goodwill of the many. I think, you know, we live here in Bangkok. You know, a lot of expats live here. You know, we see this as a problem far away from us. But in reality, it's sad for those people that are living here.
More attention needs to be paid.
It's a localized terrorist issue.
You know, I don't want to go to the word terrorism because I think that's very strong. I think it's an insurgency down there.
Okay, it's an insurgency, it's a separatist movement, whatever it is.
But as Adrian said, you know, many governments have tried to resolve this problem. I think the fundamental issues, there are people, you know, I read in the Bangkok Post the other day, you know, at the end of the day, it becomes a religious issue. You know,
is it really a religious issue? Or is that just a convenient excuse?
Look, again, I don't have the answer to this one. I wish that somebody would. I wish that tomorrow we can wake up and, you know, our brothers and sisters in the South.
Okay, so potentially it's a historical problem.
It's a historical problem. But I think we need to be fair to everybody. I think the military is trying their best. I think the police are trying their best. I think whether it's a democratic government, whether it's the Pheu type government, whether it's any government, no one wants to see bloodshed.
Okay, so why hasn't the Thai government or the Thai military learned from internal conflicts or conflicts that have been going on in other countries for many years? Take Northern Ireland, take Iraq, take Afghanistan. But soldiers in those countries during those times of conflict did not ride around on motorcycles.
On Honda Waves. No,
they're in armored Land Rovers. They're in big armored Humvees.
I think
they're in armored personnel
we don't
cars.
want to get.
Why doesn't the Thai military have this kind of equipment?
So the question becomes: is negotiation or is more surge in military better? You know, again, it's one of these things, right?
I would say a dual-pronged strategy. You have to increase your military presence. You have to train your soldiers to be better equipped to handle these terrorists who are striking for no reasons. I don't even know if they know the reasons they're striking for. Right? You definitely have to increase that protection and then start negotiation. But I think the problem is, who do we negotiate with?
Yeah. But again, on this one, Jay, to all of our foreign friends watching, you know, it's something that I think all governments, all sides are trying to resolve. But like you said, whether it's Northern Ireland, whether it's happening in Israel today, whether it's happening anywhere, you know, there's always going to be that group of people. And again, I don't want to get to a point
there's a fight going on. There's a struggle going on. So, I mean, I think one of the clear questions that has never been answered up to now is that why aren't the military boys down there properly prepared? Why can't they protect themselves?
You know, as I mentioned, 5,000 over people have died over the years since this conflict has been there. But the government today seems to be paying more attention to the 91 people who died during the Richard riots than the 5,000. The attention is a bit wrong.
Yes.
No, but again, I think no one is not paying attention. And to be fair, Adrian, no one's not paying attention to any death. A single life loss, you know, of our Thai brother and sister is a sad day for Thailand. I think, you know, at the end of the day, you know, it's something that's going to be very difficult to resolve. And, you know, all we can do is wish for the best and send them our best of hope down there in the south.
Okay,
that I will agree with you.
I think we're going to cut it there, guys. Let's move on to topic number 4 this week, floods. As some of you may have realized, we had a bit of a flood issue in Thailand last year where something like 1/3 of the country was underwater. Bangkok was under threat. Many people lost their livelihoods. Many people lost their homes. Everyone's holding their breaths. Are we going to have heavy rainfalls? Are the dams going to burst? Are the rivers going to burst their banks this year? Are we due for another round of floods this year? What do you think, guys?
No floods.
Well, interesting, because I read this morning that MCOT in Tak has been declared a disaster area because the river has overflowed its banks. So,
okay,
it has begun.
No floods in Bangkok.
It has begun.
No floods in Bangkok.
Will it get worse? Will the dams be able to hold the water? I'm not an expert in this area, but, you know, as the Scouts motto, be prepared.
Tom, for last year's floods, was there a man-made element to it?
Look, I think we have to be fair.
Was there a man-made element?
I think there were 3 elements to last year's flood. The first one was the severe storms. Right? That's something I can't control, you can't control.
But severe storms can be predicted.
Again, you can't control storms.
Okay. Storms can be predicted in
advance. I don't disagree with you. Severe storms, that we can't predict. 2, obviously there was a situation with letting the water out of the dams. I think the government this year has done a good job of making sure our dams are not full. 2, except the severe storms that may or may not happen again. 3rd, obviously, I think it was the internal conflicts between the BMA, the central government, people not being coordinated. I don't think this year, with Kun Yingluck now fully in power, with the army now fully understanding that people cannot accept these floods again, that the floods again will happen. The 3 things have to happen. 1, severe storm. 2, dams have too much water. 3, people are not coordinated. I can't predict number 1.
Are they more coordinated this year than they were last year?
You see the canals, you know, they're being cleaned. You know, you see the Bangkok governor out there. This one, I'm very impressed, right? Yeah. I'll give credit where credit is due. I actually think the Bangkok governor, even this year, is being more prepared. Okay. I think Kun Yingluck is being very more prepared. But again, at the end of the day, the first one we can't predict. So obviously,
did the floods touch you last year or not, Adrian?
Thankfully not.
It touched me heavily.
Have you been properly have you had compensated for that?
Yes, I did actually. I get compensated. And now I actually, instead of cars, I bought submarines.
How much did you get?
I got money. Much like everybody else.
Yeah. Okay. We're going to move on. Oh no, we're not going to move on. I think
to add on to this, you know, last year when Tom mentioned that there was a lot of lack of coordination. I think the lack of coordination stems from people who don't know what they're doing, trying to tell people who know what they're doing what to do. So, you know, maybe you should let the experts who know what to do solve the problem. And not let politicians decide when to open the gates or not.
I agree.
I think there was a moment last year when a deputy minister in the Ministry of Agriculture seemed to take responsibility for some of the floods by saying that they were slow releasing the water from the dam, or they didn't let as much water out of the dam as they normally would because they wanted it for the rice crop.
Right. Look,
no, I don't think that decision has been made again this year.
To all back
to the way it should be, right?
To all of our foreign friends, you know, I give credit to Thailand about one thing. I think you've been here. Thai people make mistakes, right? But usually we find a way to fix them. It's the Thai way of finding ways to fix things. I would hardly think, unless through the act of the miracles of God, and Noah's Ark were to show up in my backyard, that we're going to have a flood again. So keep your elephants at home, keep your giraffes at home. I think we're going to be okay.
Be prepared.
All right. And on that bombshell, people make mistakes. We're going to take a break, and we're going to be back with our next few topics right after this.
They can never break your pride.
Topic number 9, squatting toilet.
What?
Myanmar might not be so.
I don't think they have a choice. I don't think they have a choice.
Another country.
I don't think they have a choice. So wait a minute. Is this going to help Thailand or hurt Thailand? No to everything. No.
Am I going to get a cheap
Good question.
They can never break your pride. Don't believe what they tell you. They try to sell you. When dreams died, plans fell through. They can never break your pride. They can never take your pride.
How do we go from the AEC, the Democrats, to squatting toilet?